what's up? This is the week 1 recap video for my secret experiment. So if you saw the last video, you know that I gained 10 pounds in just a month and a half from stopping working out and just eating regular food. A little bit of fast food here, some late night eating, kind of the things that a lot of my clients are doing when they come in. I wanted to see what would happen to me. I'm somebody that works out, I'm somebody that's already got a decent amount of muscle mass, and wanted to see if I had any special genetics or what was going on. Turned out I gained those 10 pounds, and now it's time to drop that 10 pounds, get back to kind of what my normal is, and get back in shape. So this week was week number 1. Going into week number 1, I had a plan set out that essentially had me eating in a calorie deficit, not measuring or tracking or anything, still allowing a little bit of junk food. Kind of gave myself a transition period where I would have a cookie each day. Unfortunately, as I got through the week, I started to get short on sleep. Keep note of that. If you get short on sleep, it's definitely gonna screw up your motivation, screw up your willpower. And as I got to the later part of the week, definitely dropped off in motivation. Hunger and cravings went through the roof, and ended up sacrificing having a few different meals that definitely weren't ideal. A&W is a burger and fries on Friday evening. Saturday, I was pretty good through the morning, and then I think I might have had some sushi at night or something. Sunday, again, was pretty good, but had a little bit of leftover sushi. And then Sunday night, actually had a bowl of honeycombs. If you go on a long streak of eating junk food, it is hard to cut it out, especially when you're low on willpower, low on sleep, and when you're busy. This weekend, we had a deep study day on a new course we're doing, and that took a lot out of us. It made our focus 100% on that, to the point where I basically didn't care about the nutrition. I figured, okay, I did all right at the start of the week, I can keep focused. I essentially gave myself the excuse to keep going. And so this is something really important. If you've got a fat loss goal, you need to make sure that you know where your priorities lie, and you need to update and modify your priorities as you go. So this weekend, if I want to be like absolute peak maximum results, I can't have that day or those 2 days where I go off track. I need to be on track the entire time. But if I actually do care more about getting that course done, then it's actually okay that I went off track a little bit, that it wasn't perfect. And the important thing is just getting myself back on track and not getting down on myself. So you need to know what your priorities are, what rate of progress you want to go for, and that'll help you sort out what makes the most sense for you. All in all, I did lose a little bit of body fat over the week. I'm actually a bit surprised. I didn't feel like I did that well, but I was down inches overall, and I dropped a few pounds as far as body weight goes. Normally the first week you drop a lot more. I dropped as much as 5 pounds at my lowest. Now, of course, that's not 5 actual pounds. There's a lot of water weight in there, but I did drop 2 or 3 real pounds. Again, very typical at the start. You're eating less food, so there's less food in your stomach, in your digestive system, as well as the actual fat you lose. So that's a quick recap of my week. A couple of key lessons that I wanted to make sure you know. Number 1, falling off track is not because you suck. It's not because you've got weak willpower or you're just a terrible human being. Falling off track is simply that your priorities and your motivation do not align with staying on track. Think of the person you love the most. If I told you that that person was going to die if you didn't stick on track, do you think you'd have any trouble staying on track? So it's not about a deficiency in who you are. It's actually just that you're not clear enough on your priorities and clear enough on why you're doing it. If you fell off track in the first week, make sure that you get really clear on why you're doing it, what you want, create that clear vision. I've got an exercise for that I'd love to give you if you send me an email, and we can get you set up for that. Get that motivation level way up by knowing why you're doing it and having your priorities really clear. Number 2, when you do go off track, make sure you get right back on the horse. Get back to it. Don't let that sidetrack get you down. What really matters is your sustainability over the long term. It doesn't matter if you fall off track once at the beginning or randomly at some point throughout. It's what's that overall trend, and are you consistently improving? If you're consistently going off track every week, yes, of course, you're not gonna make progress. Figure out what you did wrong, learn from it, and then get back to what you were doing. Number 3, when you screw up, dwell on how it feels. If you feel like garbage because you ate junk food, spend some time actually thinking about that. Don't let yourself focus on how tasty it was or how enjoyable it was. If you want to avoid it, focus on the other part of it, that negative part of it, because as humans, we naturally go towards the things that we focus on pleasure and go away from the things that we focus on the pain of it. So let's say my honeycomb. If I think about how tasty it was, how soft it feels in my mouth, whatever, that's not going to help me cut it out. But if I do want to cut it out, what I need to focus on is how much I feel like garbage in the morning. I woke up this morning, I was like super sluggish, it felt awful. And so that's motivation for me not to do it next time. I'm actually spending some time time today dwelling on how much I felt like garbage there, and it makes me not even want it. I've done it before with McDonald's, I've done it with other foods. If a food makes you feel like garbage, it's actually really easy to cut it out if you really closely tie that feeling like garbage with the food. And then number 4, think about the long term. If you want to have this healthy body, if you want to have this lean body composition, be in shape, you need to be eating healthy, you need to be exercising basically for the rest of your life. It's something that it's not like it's just a short-term thing that you do temporarily. So start thinking about the long term. You need to build this habit up long term. And if you screw up or you go off track or you're not making progress as fast as you can, it doesn't matter. This is still something that you need to have 10 years from now. If it takes you 10 years to get you to your goal, or you get there in 6 months, either way, you still are going to be doing the same habits 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. So there's no point getting all frustrated with the fact that you have to stick with the plan. I'm depriving myself, but I'm not getting any results. If you're depriving yourself so much that you can't stick with it unless you're getting results, you're never going to be able to stick with it. Find ways to change your thinking about it, change your associations, make it something you actually enjoy, because if you don't enjoy it now while you're doing it and you're only hanging on because you're getting results, then you're never going to sustain it long term. Find something you can sustain long term and something that gets you results, and when you can find that combination of both, that's your ideal sweet spot. That's the thing you'll do no matter what, and that's the thing that will keep you on track. So give those a try, incorporate those principles into your own fat loss journey, and I'll see you next week.